all, I got it all. I know they wanna watch it fall, but I'm a ball. I gotta get them all the calls so I can haul the way to go. And they gon' know the day I blow. I got game, but I never play around now. Got chains, but I never stay down now. Got flame if they talk about my...
Hello people, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a really long time since I've vlogged. So yep. So the topic for this video is going to be how to not die on Indian roads. So I think there are about 8 to 10 points. I'm not sure how many of them are there actually. But then I have videos to substantiate my statements for almost all of these points. So let's get into it. And I actually wanted to make this video while I'm driving a car, because I feel that when you're driving a car, there's actually more responsibility on your shoulders as compared to when you're riding a bike. Obviously, because you occupy more space on the road. So the first point obviously is going to be that as all of you already know, Indians love cutting each other off. Now when you're going into a lane, somebody just gets into your lane randomly and you have to slow down because of them. So that is basically what cutting people off is. And there's absolutely no lane discipline in most of the roads of the country. And I'll put a video of a Hyundai Eon that just randomly cut about 2 lanes while exiting a roundabout. Another video I'm going to attach here is a Mahindra Scorpio, which obviously because of its size shows its dominance and kind of tries to slow me down because it wants to get into my lane. Now such people would not even indicate, they won't even give a hint, they will just randomly switch lanes, so you'll have to be careful of them. The second point is there's absolutely nothing known as a wrong way here in India. Even if you're going the right way, somebody might just randomly come onto the oncoming lane. So you will always have to be on the lookout for such people. I'll put a video here wherein I was traveling on the Delhi-Chandigarh highway and this truck driver just randomly came out of nowhere from the wrong side, and had I been doing speeds more than that, I probably would have crashed into him. Also, when you're on highways that have multiple lanes, the fact that there are truck drivers on almost all the lanes would mean that you will have to go from the leftmost lane or the middle lane or whichever lane you find empty. So the thing is, if you keep honking, you will never get way. They will never give you way because all of these truck drivers do more or less the same speed and they try and overtake each other. They take almost 2 to 3 kilometers to overtake a single truck most of the times. So technically you will have to use whatever lane there is. I know it's technically the wrong way, but then try and overtake every vehicle from the right hand side one day and you'll realize what I'm talking about. The third point is slow down when you approach junctions. Now this has 2 aspects to it. So when you're approaching a junction and there's a vehicle on the left or on the right and which is slowing down, you should also slow down because there's something that might just probably pop out from nowhere because that vehicle is slowing down for a reason. So you should slow down as well. And the second aspect to it is when you are approaching a junction like this one, just slow down and watch if people give you way or they don't. Now a video I'll be attaching here is a video of a Toyota Fortuner that just randomly forced itself into a junction and everybody had to stop because of him because he came in way too fast. The next point is always be patient. Now as you can see, there are 5, 4, 3 seconds left there, but I'm still slowing down because I do not want to rush through the red lights because some people just randomly start moving before the signal gets green. Now I'll be attaching 2 videos here. One is of a biker who saw me but still tried to merge into the lane and almost lost his balance as a result. And the second video is of a dude on an Activa who was in a roundabout and was not willing to give way to anybody and almost had a close call with a car. Now, one of the most important points on this list is undoubtedly going to be this one, which is forget right of way. There's absolutely nothing which is known as a right of way in this country, because now I'm not being a negative person here, but then this is what I've seen. I've driven quite a lot on the roads, and I actually crashed my bike. In case you've not seen that video, I'll put that video in the card button here. I actually crashed my bike because I was assuming that the other person would know a concept of right of way, but unfortunately that person did not even care and just pulled out right in front of me, and I crashed. And there's absolutely nothing you can say to a person. He did not even realize he had done anything wrong. So that is the state. Never assume that a person will give you way, because very few people here know about right of way as a concept. The next point is always anticipate. Now, I am not going to define anticipation for you here, but I am going to let the videos do the talking. So in this video, the signal turns green for me, but I still do not pick up much pace, because I know somebody might just pop out from somewhere, and there's this auto cab that just speeds through the junction even when his signal had turned red quite some time back. So yep, that is also something you guys need to be mindful of, because even if you've got a fast car, even if you are a good driver, even if you want to speed, never ever launch your car from any red signal. I know it's tempting, I know I've done it in the past, but then never ever try and launch your vehicle from a red signal. There's absolutely no point in doing that. Now, many of you might be familiar with this, but then when you're on the road in India, you should always look out for potholes. Never follow a car very closely, because when it hits a pothole, you will hit it too. So always watch out for potholes, even more when you're on a bike, because a car will always try and avoid the potholes. And if you're following the wheels of the car, there are very less chances that you're going to hit a pothole. Never assume the roads to be devoid of any obstructions, because that is not going to be the case ever. Now, another thing you should be aware of is that the buses and the trucks occupy a lot of space on the road. Now, as compared to cars, buses and trucks have a huge turning radius. They have huge blind spots. A truck has a bigger blind spot than you can ever imagine. So yep, I'm getting into the cycling lane here because almost 95% of the people go right from here, and even people from this lane go right sometimes. Now, a video I'm going to attach here is a Maruti Suzuki Swift almost getting sandwiched by a truck at a roundabout, and I hope you learned something from that video. The next very important point is always watch out for doors. Now, not all people know the concept of watching the rear view mirror before opening the door, and some people just randomly open the door. Usually kids do that. Always keep a safe distance from the vehicles when you're passing them, because they might just open the door at any time. The next thing is Indian roads are very unpredictable as far as animals are concerned, because animals can pop out of nowhere at any time. Now, I'm going to attach a video of a dog randomly darting across the road on a highway. So always be mindful of animals, because they can pop out from anywhere. Another very important point is when you're driving long distances, you tend to drive 100-200 kilometers without taking a break. Now, when there's dusk or dawn, the visibility conditions change dramatically, and you tend to take some time to adapt to them. So all I want to mention here is that at times of dusk or dawn, always slow down even more than you have to. The next thing is there are always slower vehicles on the road. For example, tractors, tempos, road rollers and construction machines. So always be mindful of them, because they'll be doing speeds lesser than you can ever imagine. A road roller, I think, does almost 20 kilometers per hour at the maximum on an average. Even tractors do very less speeds, and tractors don't even have lights at the back or at the front anywhere. Now, another thing that I feel is that roads like the Chandigarh Delhi highway, I'm going to put a video of it here. are actually safer than roads which are quite empty, because when a road is empty and you're the only car there, you will have to watch out for people and you will have to gauge if a person is going to just randomly dart across the road or not. But when there's traffic, there's actually a car 200 meters ahead of you, there's very meager chance of anybody just popping out on the road, because pedestrians will not get the opportunity to jaywalk across the road because there's a lot of traffic. And even overtakes become safer because people tend to watch their mirrors and people tend to not even change lanes when there's a lot of traffic. So I actually feel that roads like those are actually much safer than roads with comparatively less traffic. Now the next point might make you think that I'm a sadist or something, but then I feel that when somebody is using the high beams at you, you should do that in reciprocation too, because when you're not able to see anything, there's hardly any point of being in the low beam, and you might just switch to the high beam, and the other person who's using the high beam will eventually be blinded and will eventually realize that using the high beam is a wrong thing to do. Because the other car I have is a Mahindra XUV, and there's not much problem when driving that car because that car is pretty high, so the high beams from most of the cars don't even bother you. Only high beams from trucks or buses mostly is a problem. When you're in lower cars, a high beam from an Activa also can blind you. And talking about Activas, the new Activa with the LED headlamp, I don't know what's wrong with that, but that LED headlamp is the worst thing ever, I swear. There's absolutely nothing known as focus in that headlight, and it spreads across everywhere. Now another thing you can do to tackle such drivers is upgrade your low beams, because using high beams is illegal. I know, do not do it except when you're doing speeds above 80 or 100 kilometers an hour. But all you can do is you can upgrade your low beams, so when somebody is flashing their high beams at you, you will at least be able to use your low beam well, because your low beam would be powerful enough. When you think there's no legal machinery in hand, never ever try and confront anybody, no matter what they've done, ever. Because when you're not on your turf, you will be likely to get dominated. So yep. The next and the final point here is get a dash cam. Just do. I'm actually recording with an SJ4000 right now. I'm using it on a head mount, and I have a dash cam right here. This actually records the rear as well as the front. There's a camera which acts as a rear camera when you're reversing, and as a camera that records the back of your car when you're moving. This costs nothing, man. If you're driving a car, you can afford this, trust me. If you're driving a car, no matter what car it is, you can very easily afford a dash cam. So just get one. Don't think about it, just get one. Now I don't know how much sense this video made to you, but then if this made sense to you, do give this video a like, because I took a lot of time out to compile those videos that I attached for you guys, because most of those videos are almost 4 to 5 months old. I watched some of my randomly recorded videos and ended up getting them. If you like this video, do give this video a like. If you dislike this video, you could give it a dislike too. Share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.